What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PC Tech Review 101, and today's video is going to be about my old rig that I'm going to be parting ways tomorrow with. And I figured I probably won't have another chance to get my hands on this hardware, as at a time it was very expensive, and still today to build this kind of PC it's still going to be quite a bit expensive, as it still performs pretty well in the modern AAA titles. So without further ado, I'm going to go over the specs and things. So here it comes. Okay, so let's go over some of the specs. For the motherboard, we have an Asus P8Z68 Deluxe Gen 3 motherboard. That's a very good motherboard, and it has 3 PCI Express slots and PCI Express 3.0, and the processor I have it paired with is a 3770K. It's currently clocked at 4.5 gigahertz, and I have a pretty much a basic standard water cooler, nothing special, and a 750 watt Corsair semi-modular power supply. Plenty of power here to handle this legendary GTX 690, which is I'm sure you guys know that it's a dual GPU card, and you know, it does take quite a bit of power to handle. So that's why I think this power supply is pretty good. And the case I'm using here is a CoolerMaster CM690. You know, it's a pretty good case. It's got a hot swap on top, and it's you know, made with some hard solid plastic and some aluminum front mesh. I got a couple of fans, about 4 120mm CoolerMaster blue LED fans, and for the boot hard drive I have a Samsung 120 gigabyte SSD, and for storage I have additional 1.5 terabyte hard drive. And let's take a look inside here. That's pretty much it. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this case. The motherboard is really good. At one point I did have the two GeForce GTX 690s. Of course it was in a different rig with a much more powerful power supply. I think it was a 1200 watt. I tried to attempt to do quad SLI, and I'm sure you look it up, that's pretty much useless, and I ended up just splitting up the two cards in two different rigs, as just one card in SLI mode is better than 2 cards with the quad SLI. It just doesn't scale. It's just pretty much impossible. It just never was gonna work or made for this kind of stuff. So that's pretty much it for the rig, and let's take a look at some performance in gameplay and some of my settings. Okay, as you could see, this is the Nvidia control panel, and you could see that the SLI is the multi GPU option is enabled for the best performance, the GT690. And let's see, we have the latest drivers available here. Yep, that's the latest. These are the graphics clock 915 megahertz, CUDA cores 1536. That's it. And we are using the PCI Gen 3 3.0 for this, so it is 3.0 compatible. And here you could see the two GPUs, 2-in-1. These are the usual settings that I do. I have the DSR enabled, so we are going to be able to see a little bit of 4K on this, on some of the games. Of course, Power management, prefer maximum performance. Shaded cache off. And texture filter quality on high performance. Okay, and then let's take a look at this. Here you could see that it is the i7 770K 3.5 gigahertz, 8 gigs, which is more than enough for most of the games. Also, we have CPU-Z. Okay, here it is. And same thing here. And we could do, let me just show you a little bit of bench compared to some of the newer processors. So we're gonna select, I'm gonna compare it to some i7s. We're gonna do 4790K and bench the CPU. Here it is. So right now we are comparing to the stock 4790K, which is stock 4.0 gigahertz. And as you could see, just the way it is, it's pretty much identical. With the multi-thread is right there, 507 versus 510. Single thread is slightly more because it is overclocked, 102 versus 100. And let's just go to an older i7, which is a great one too, which is the previous version, 2600K. And again, you see that this beats it, 33% higher here, and another, and the multi-threaded beats it too quite a bit here. And let's just try a newer i7 like the 6700K. And again, with the 6700K, which is stock 4.0, it's pretty much identical, very close to it. That's why I still think the 3770K, you know, when overclocked of about 4.5, it's still a good, a good processor. What else do you need, really? And let's do one more, last one, which is the 7700K. And yes, of course it's going to be bigger, but the margins, they're not that much. Look at that, at 4.2 gigahertz. So it's, as you could see, it's this processor is still quite relevant, at least according to CPU-Z. Alright, so let's go and test out some games in some of the different settings here. Here's Witcher 3, one of my favorites. We are starting out at 1080p, the lowest possible settings. As you could see, I'm using the MSI Afterburner to show you all the important temperatures and FPS count and stuff like that. You could see that the CPU is running at 4.5 gigahertz, and we're around 130, 140 FPS on 1080p on the absolutely lowest possible settings. I'm gonna show you here, everything low. Let's see what this thing could do on Ultra. I'm gonna switch it on Ultra. I'm gonna take the Hairworks off. Let's see what it does here. So, about 50 to 60 frames, not bad at all for old card. I'm sure you guys know how hard it is to run the Witcher 3 on Ultra.
Ever tell you about this sorcerer I knew? Couldn't stop talking about how useful they are as creatures.
Because you can brew potions from their blood?
No, because by eating rotting corpses they prevent epidemics.
And you can see both the GPUs are working, the temperatures are in a high 70s.
His theory collapsed.
Okay, so we're somewhere between 50 and 60, depends on the area. Now let's jump into 4K. For that, I'm going to lower everything back on the lowest setting. And jump into 4K and do medium. Let's see. Yep, that's pretty much it. As I've tested this before, anything higher than medium settings on the 4K just won't be playable. It'll get stuck and stutter. So you could see it here as I use the DSR to upscale to 4K on my 1080p monitor. The GTX 690 was more than capable to handle 4K on medium settings, which is not bad at all.
Radovitz pledged to restore the old borders as soon as he wins the war.
Just gonna kind of go around here. I know there's not too much action here, but I don't want to get the cutscene. Got a couple of bad guys here. But yeah, you see it's running pretty good. The temperatures are pretty decent. For older card, I know this card runs pretty hot to begin with. It is what it is. So there you have it. Witcher 3 4K on the GTX 690 in medium settings. And around 40 frames per second. Definitely playable. No stuttering. Next we're going to do Tomb Raider. Rise of the Tomb Raider. I just want to kind of show you the settings here prior. Well, one thing I like about this game is prior to starting it, you do have the options to choose your settings. So in this case, I'm going to have exclusive full screen enabled and DirectX 12 enabled, and VSync and anti-aliasing off. And when it comes to graphics, again, I'm going to start off on the lowest possible setting on 1080p. And let's see what kind of a craziness we can get here. Let me zoom out here. Get you guys the temperatures and FPS count. Now, as you could see with the DirectX 12, now for this game, I noticed the DirectX 12 in SLI or dual GPU mode, like we're currently running here, seems to work pretty good. If I drop down to DirectX 11, the frame rates won't be as high. But so right now we are running at 1080p lowest settings. These high frame rates, very good. And you can see like it's got some kind of AFR. DirectX 12 AFR, you get that for some reason when your SLI or Crossfire, I don't know.
This might be the kind of godforsaken place.
These are the kind of frame rates you're here to expect. Especially in this part of the board where there's a lot of stuff going on. When you get into the regular part of the game where there's not so much going on, and snow and earthquakes and things shaking, you even get higher frame rates. Okay, let's take a look here.
We're close to something, Jonah.
Feels pretty solid, but keep close to the wall.
Okay.
Okay, let's give it a try. Increase the graphics to high, but I am gonna take off a couple of things. Well, you could leave it on high preset. Let's just say we'll leave it on high preset. See how that handles. Oh yeah, there's plenty of room. So right now we're on a high preset. The game looks amazing.
Right, you ready?
We're in pretty good frame rates. I like to mess around and lower some of the things on high, like ambient.
Let's take it
Take that
slow
off.
and steady. Just stay with me.
And get a little bit of higher frame rates. But on high preset, you see it's running pretty good. Let's just take a look at another setting here. Let's go a little bit higher. Let's see if it allows me, it won't get stuck. So this part I usually take off. Also the blurs, I mean, really unnecessary. What else we got here? Okay, we'll turn these on. Okay, so that's off. Okay. So really, I think this is the best setting. Oh no! Oh, I didn't catch that one. Whoopsie. Oh, I forget. I think when you die in this point, it might keep looping. Oh no, that's good.
Let's take it slow and steady. Just stay with me. Oh shit!
That was close.
Okay, last time I missed this. Okay. Let's give it a shot on the very high settings. See what happens. Oh boy. Very high. 4 gigs, more than 4 gigs. Let's see if this thing gets stuck on me. I have the ambient off. Let's drop the filter to 2. And that's a very high. Level detail, very high. Shadow effect, high. Depth field, high. Dynamic foliage, high. Spectral reflection, high. Alright, let's give it a shot at this. See if it'll hold off. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's very good. So again, oh yeah, it's running real beautiful. As you could see, we're at pretty good frame rates here on very high with a couple of things turned off. I just really know this game well, and you know what the graphics card could do. But
I can make it.
if you could only see it here, it looks very, very beautiful. Opa.
Holy shit! I don't think I can make that
Okay, so
jump.
now
Stay there. I'll anchor a line.
you could see it's running really good on very high, above 60 FPS, and especially during the first beginning of the game where there's a lot of action going on. So we're gonna go back to the lowest preset. Let me see what we can do. Lowest, yes. Again, I'm gonna leave the lens flares on, and then let's give it a shot at 4K resolution, as I have the exclusive full screen enabled. So we're gonna give it a shot at 4K on the lowest settings and work our way up. Let's see what happens here. Wait, did that happen? I didn't go through. What happened there? I hope I don't have a problem. I had it going just before. Oh, okay, you have to hit here. I see. Yes. Yes. Okay, we're slowing down here. Now I have it. Now what happened here? everything on the lowest. Maybe I'll get back into it.
I'll give you some slack.
Yeah, that's strange. I was able to
Almost there, Laura.
run on 4K earlier. Oh, what has happened here? Very strange. Oh yes,
We made it!
This
I
is
see
a-
the ruins! Oh god.
I think I remember now. When it comes to 4K, we gotta get back into DirectX 11. So we're gonna exit the game. And we're gonna switch to DirectX 11 mode and give it a shot at 4K. I remember this part. Yes. Okay, let's give it a try really quick. Take that off. Again, we'll start off with the lowest possible settings. I'll take these off just in case. And we're gonna go right in there. See what happens now. Because I tried 4K earlier and it was running much better than that. So let's give it a shot. That's kind of something you gotta play around with. I learned that the X11 works better on 4K with at least this graphics card. Oh yes, this is what I was talking about. So yes, you clearly see it that now it's definitely playable. And let's get to the top of the mountain, and then we could tweak the settings slightly more. Maybe get it to medium. But yes, that's what it was.
We made it!
DirectX 12 works good with this card on 1080p, but DirectX 11 works better with the 4K. We couldn't even really run it.
Quick! Slip me to the other side!
On this part. Anything but this part. Said I apologize with my camera. I really don't know any good software to show you the true FPS counts with some of these settings. There you go. Okay, so we're in 4K now. Let's tweak it a little bit. Let's see if we could get it to maybe medium. No, not high, not high. Medium. We're gonna take this off. Sun shadow on. Level detail medium. Always the motion blurs. Okay guys, here's Battlefield 1. Once again, we start off on 1080p. Lowest settings. Let's just double check. What do we have here? 1080p. These are my settings. Motion blur off. VSync off. Full screen. On low and DirectX 11. For this card, of course, DirectX 11 is much better. I wouldn't even try DirectX 12. Okay, so let's take a look here. see how it is on Ultra. Okay, wow. On Ultra is pretty damn good too. Opa. There you have it on Ultra, 1080p. We're about circling around 100 FPSs. Depends on the action. Oh no. Okay.
We came from all over the world. So many of us thinking this war would be our rite of passage.
Okay, what else? What else? Let's see.
Let me tell you, it was no adventure.
Oh yeah, this one's got a lot of scenes. So again, we're on Ultra here. Still in the 100 with all this action. Very good. As you can see, this card crushes Battlefield 1. Alright, let's hit 4K. And we'll work our way up to see what we could do. I'm gonna go back to low. Come on. Take this off. Back. Option. See. Let's go up to 4K. Okay. Alright, we're on the low setting. We're about 50 to 60 FPS. Let me go up to medium before I miss the scene. There's a lot of action here, so I want to see how much we could push this. I won't even bother with these bottom ones. Just want to see what we could do here. Okay, medium. Oh yeah. Okay, so again, more than enough here to handle on medium. I'm gonna go push it one more notch and go on high on 4K. We'll now do Ultra because I'm sure it's gonna freeze up. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, that's what I figured. I'm gonna go back to medium. Even though it looks like we should have some room for high, it's just not. So the conclusion is medium settings on 4K. No problem. There you go. So medium 4K, we're about 60 FPS. I'm gonna go ahead, and that'll be it for this one, for Battlefield 1 4K medium settings. Okay guys, here's Grand Theft Auto 5 1080p. With this game you can't put on the lowest settings. This thing is gonna be all twitchy and buggy, but we do start off on high preset on this game. 1080p. As you could see, you have up to 4 gigabytes of memory option before you go over in red, which we could disable that. So this is pretty much the settings it comes on automatically, which is high preset. And let's see what. Okay. Well, let's see what's going on here.
Get in here!
Well, at least in this part, a lot of high frame rates here.
Don't even think about it! Get in there! Sit tight! I'll handle the plastic! Don't blow yourself up! Pay attention! What's he doing? Em, get these assholes in the closet! In the back! Come on! All set! Hold it in! I'm calling it!
There you go.
Alright, we gonna do this?
The excitement.
Show me the money! Slow and steady, T. Slow and steady.
Come on. It's a little buggy.
That's the score. There's enough here for us all to enjoy. Depends on how you look at it. Come on, move it.
Let's see. Yeah, unfortunately with this thing, I don't want to go back and forth. You know, when you make a drastic change, you have to reset the game. So we're gonna go. Put this on and go up to 4. $4K, but let's see if we could go down a notch. Let's save something here. Oh, there you go. Hopefully this won't kick us out. Nope. Okay, good. Okay. So we are in 4K now.
Give it up! I got it!
In the 50s.
I saw your face, I'll remember you. You get 1,000 things every day. How about you make sure this is one of them? I've seen his eyes! He's crazy! No one's crazy! Right thing! He's cool!
Oh, look at that. I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm playing over a wireless keyboard here. All in one. It's very tough. Okay, good. We'll start off here. Oh, that's it.
You didn't have to do that!
Yes, we did.
Going. There'll be time for grieving later! Yeah, you got that right. Let's go!
Oh yeah, so as you could see on 4K, more than enough. So you could really, the conclusion is, on paper, this card is pretty much the same as a GTX 980. Better in quite a bit better in a lot of the games too. So it's, you could say it's between 980 and 980 Ti. This graphics card. If you're lucky to find this, it's really available on eBay somewhere between $250 and $350. Pretty much the same price as a GTX 980 that you could find used. So this is where we are.
Back the fuck down! I ain't laying down for them!
So as you could see, once we fill up the settings, we reach up to that bar. The game is no longer twitchy.
We bring it to them!
Very smooth. No problem here.
Come on, guys.
All the action. Uh-oh. I'm gonna get killed here.
Get out of the way or suffer the consequence. Press forward. Ah! Get out of here.
Okay, got this guy.
Wrong profession. Get in their faces.
Come on, guys. Kill one guy. There you go. Kill one guy for me.
Who's this?
Okay, temperatures are looking good here overall.
Fucking cops. Can't be many more cops in this town. Bring them. This is fucked, man. The thing is blown. I got my share. It's
Come on,
still
buddy, get up.
wide open. Cars up here. Let's go. Boom. Come on. This wasn't in the
Oh no.
Come on. Get to the driver. I hope he's waiting.
Okay, one more round.
Let's move. Come on. Every man for himself.
Oh, sure. So here we are. 4K.
You idiot. What took you so long? Shut the fuck up and drive. Woo. See that shit? Put that bitch's face against the glass. You see that? Yeah, you're a real stout.
So the conclusion is this card handles the AAA titles, at least the ones we tested today, on medium settings in 4K, no problem.
Come on, let's get to the chopper. We move quick, we can beat the train. We're getting there. Cops, coming our way. Be cool. They ain't made this car yet. Man, I'll believe in this bird when I get eyes on it. Shit, shit, shit! Roadblock! Go right! Beat the train, man! You guys alright? Fuck! Come on! Ditch the car, alright? We can go this way to the chopper. No! Hey! Stick to the plan. What? Stick to the fucking plan. Come on. Where the fuck's the chopper? Fuck. Around back. Oh, the fucking
Oh no, it's an ambush.
Alright, Brad's gonna be fine. We gotta get his fuck. I'm hit. Oh, T, you gotta get out of here. I'm gonna leave you, my kid. No. God, I'm not gonna be fucking gonna bleed out. Go. No. Fucking die, all of you. Kill me, you pricks! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Oh, that's it. He's losing his mind.
I'm standing here! Finish me! Die, you cocksuckers! Hey, you! Hey! Where's the chopper? Fucking stay back! You come near me! She's fucking dead! Stay back! Go!
Alright, that's it. There you have it. It's the final game we test here. The conclusion is it's still a pretty damn good rig here. So many good memories. It's gonna be hard to say goodbye, but this is it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and put any comments down below. Let me know if you have anything similar to this. Let me know how it performed for you, and I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Bye bye.